This review is basically on the silicone ring, the groove ring to be specific. So what happens is that I originally wear a platinum ring. I don't have it with me right now. What happens is I put it away and just too lazy to take it out. But what happens is that I basically wear it to work and just afraid it get lost. So what happens with that? I replaced with a tungsten ring. One reason I like tungsten is that it basically is has a weight, is a good amount of weight, um, and it's shiny and it's pretty much very hard, and scratch resistant. So it kind of looks like my original platinum ring, but it's basically very cheap compared to the platinum. So that's why I got tungsten. But the only thing is that, as a lot of people basically heard, tungsten kind of dangerous because if you ever get your ring caught, it's going to be hard to remove. As you can see from this finger, you could see the little line in my middle finger. When I was at work a few years ago, what happened was that's exactly what had happened. The ring got caught right there, and what happens is that it pulled my finger skin like a condom. They basically pulled this. Luckily, it was just a um, I forgot if it's a stainless steel ring or a aluminum ring, but basically it's a cheapy ring that they just simply cut and garbaged and got some glue and glued back my skin, and there you go. And that's the little ring line that I have, permanent ring line I have right now. But after that, basically, like I said, I thought about not wearing this anymore, and that's why I'm considering getting another ring. So what happens is that first I decided that maybe I'll get titanium, which this ring is right here. What happens is that titanium is basically feather light, but the only problem is that even titanium is a very hard metal, and not that many places know how to remove a ring, as a lot of people tell you about. But like I said, fairly cheap. Don't worry about losing, and that's the main thing about it. So what option was there? Copper. Copper seemed like a good choice and everything, but the only thing was that since copper is a soft metal and everything, it should be very easy to cut off. But then this little finger still reminds me of, even though it's a metal ring and everything, it still has a chance of getting caught. So even though they can cut it, it still has a chance of it getting caught and then having to go to hospital and basically getting removed. So this is just a Tiffany style silver ring and everything. This very easy to tear and everything. Everything gets caught, but still, whatever. And that's why a lot of people basically got these little groove rings. As they say in the thing, it has that little groove in the middle of the little thing. The only thing is, I found that when you put it on with nice dry hands, no problem at all. But when you start wearing it, that's when it becomes problem, because when you first buy anything, you don't really think about it when it gets wet and when you touch stuff. Silicone, things stick to it like magnet. So you're gonna have all this whatever greasy stuff stuck to it when you wash dishes. You're gonna basically be removing it left and right, and then groove ring. They basically do I think it's like a $5 replacement if your band gets damaged to the point where it's not wearable anymore, or damaged to the point where you don't like it anymore. They're gonna basically pull your receipt and give you the exact same ring that you purchased. So since I have this ring, if it ever gets cut or damaged or stretched out and everything, I paid the $5 and it's gonna be the same exact ring, color, size, and everything. So that's why I basically thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. If I want a ring that's more natural and everything, why don't I get these kind of like, I'm not sure how do you pronounce it, heliotite, but this is basically a rock or a stone ring and everything. So what happens with the good thing about stone rings is that these will actually, when you put it on your finger, it's nice and hard and everything. You don't have to take it off when you basically wash dishes and everything. They're very cheap and everything. You basically get these suckers for less than $5. The only thing is that it's limited to one color, but like I said, it's more of a very natural, whatever feeling ring. it basically feels like a titanium ring in your finger because it's, like I said, it's hard and everything. And then one good thing about it is that if your finger does get caught on this, 90% of times this will just basically crack and break right off, because I've broken some of these rings basically not thinking that I had a ring on my finger before, punched something and it cracked in half. But like I said, these will break, it won't get snagged or anything, and then you don't have to take it off like you do with these silicone rings and everything, because this silicone ring, like I said, after you wear it when you're doing regular activity and everything, it's gonna feel kind of awkward having this little dirty piece of rubber on your finger versus, oh yeah, I forgot the moisture and everything too. When moisture gets trapped, it has this awkward feeling on your hand that it's very, very annoying. So that's why I said one of these rings, nice and cheap and everything, feels more natural on the finger, and if it ever gets caught, it'll just break. Fairly cheap. The only problem, like I said, it only basically comes in the style. Wish there was more style, but getting yourself a stone ring is an option for safety and for looks.